What if you had the option, while on full hookups, to eliminate the need for your black tank? Yet, never removing any of the capacities of your rig, but adding the optionality of dumping directly into the sewer and bypassing that black tank. Hey there, and welcome to RV Gear and Far. I'm Joshua. As I was walking around the Hershey RV show, this upcoming product at the MoRide outdoor display claims to achieve exactly that. It's called the RV Residential Flush and is presented by Easy RV Solutions along with their RV Snap Trap, which combine together into a bypass system that allows you to choose where your toilet waste goes by using the simple bypass valve, either straight into the black tank or straight out the outlet into your sewer hose and down the dump. According to Al from Easy RV Solutions, it's the world's first and only black tank bypass system. It's a diverter valve installed into the RV's plumbing system underneath the toilet that has one input, the toilet, and two outputs. One output is plumbed directly into your black tank as usual. The second output bypasses the tank and goes directly to the sewer outlet. It's a cool idea, right? But I'm sure your mind is racing right now, just like mine was with all the various questions, scenarios, where and why this wouldn't work for an RVer. Hang tight, because after sharing a few more details about how it works, I've got Al here to answer a bunch of the questions to flush out all the details. Pun intended. There are several ways to control the bypass valve. It can be manually rotated to select the direction the waste will travel. There's a 12-volt electric version, which is actuated by a switch, or it can be wired into and actuated by RV's touchpad control panel. As a full-time RVer and father, Al says the product is spawned out of the desire to eliminate the constant black tank dumping and maintenance while his family was staying at full hookup RV resorts.
So if you are hooked to the sewer, why would you ever choose to manage raw sewage? Obviously, none of us would. So this gives you an option. When you're hooked to the sewer, you can bypass your black tank altogether, not even use it.
Plumbing an RV toilet directly into the sewer is nothing new. Many stationary RVs choose to do this as well by taking down the black tank and plumbing it directly into the sewer. The cool concept about the RV residential flush valve is that it still retains the option and the capability to utilize the black tank when you're not hooked directly to the sewer inlet. Easy RV Solutions says that they've been prototyping this bypass valve for over 2 years in the field and are confident that it will perform with both residential style toilets and traditional RV style toilets as long as the toilet bowl is filled at least half full before emptying. While Easy RV Solutions is its own company, they've partnered with MoRide, who will handle the distribution and sales of the RV Residential Flush and the RV Snap Trap, which is the sister product for the bypass valve and creates a P-trap in your removable sewer hose. Now, the P-trap set into the sewer hose is something many RVers have done for a long time, using whatever materials are available to trap fluid in the sewer hose to create a barrier from the sewer connections. The RV Snap Trap takes this to an intentional level and firmly grips and supports any flexible sewer hose to form what Al calls a code-level P-trap that will completely eliminate any infiltration of sewer gases, flies, or other insects up into your RV's plumbing system from the campground sewer system. Overall, the combination of the RV Residential Flush bypass valve and the easy-to-install RV Snap Trap is an enticing idea. Due to the nature of the products, I think they're going to see huge success with the RV Snap Trap just due to its plug-and-play nature. The RV Residential Flush valve is a bit more nuanced and something I think that will grow more slowly. Again, we'll get to some of those burning questions about the RV Residential Flush shortly with Al. But if you enjoy this content and you enjoy RV tips, RV gear reviews, and how-tos, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and click that like button. It really lets me know what kind of videos you guys enjoy watching and what adds value to the community. It's free to you and really means a lot in directing how I bring new products, gear reviews, and information to the RV community as a whole. Now, the cool thing about going to a multi-day RV show is that I was able to post a quick short-form video of these products at the beginning of the week, collect questions and concerns from the community in response to that video, then go back to Easy RV Solutions to get us some in-person answers. So here are those questions in no particular order, starting with one of the most obvious concerning the size and aftermarket installation of the RV residential valve. It's a pretty big coupling. Obviously, the best use case scenario is having it installed at the manufacturer and designed into the product.
Yes.
What do you see as retrofit options for coaches that are already out on the road that want to consider putting this in? I'm thinking, some bigger fifth wheels and motorhomes are going to have space,
Yes.
the length in that tube to be able to insert this. Travel trailers, sometimes you're 12, 18 inches from the toilet to the tank.
Yes.
What's the solution you guys have come up with that?
Initially, we are focusing on the fifth wheel marketplace. So you do need about 20 to 24 inches worth of vertical height to fit the valve and the connecting pipe. But in a higher ceiling profile travel trailer, we have proven that you can put a pedestal of 9 inches in height with a lift door. So you would take the valve in a fifth wheel scenario, we have the height, so the valve is positioned in what we call a vertical format. In a toy hauler where the toilet is mounted direct, the rear toy haulers and in travel trailers. Again, if you have the ceiling height, 7 feet or more, you can build a pedestal of 9 inches, mount the toilet on the pedestal. You put an elbow from the bottom of the toilet to the inlet of the valve. You have a lift door on a hinge on the pedestal. You simply use the wrench to actuate the valve. The complication is the discharge. So it's easy to come off the valve to the black tank, and you will probably have to seal the original hole. The exit point that will bypass the black tank, that is where the challenge will be, finding the main pipe to tie in with the sanitation tape. So there are many challenges. We're just now investigating that. We're working with some installers. We've made some great associations here at the show. We've given them products, and they're eager to work with us to try to make some things happen. So we will have more information available as soon as possible.
So obviously the bypass valve works best when it's designed into the original plumbing installation. I'm really curious to see from the manufacturer standpoint if this is something that they're interested in incorporating as an option into their build orders. The next most popular concern was that the RV toilets don't use as much water as the residential toilets. So how will there be enough volume of liquid in a single flush to get the solids all the way through the pipes in the RV and out through the flexible sewer hose to the sewer inlet? How are we getting enough volume of liquid to push stuff through the ribbed sewer hose and then down into the campground outlet?
That's a good question. And for me as the inventor and a mechanical engineer, I recruited a 30-year veteran master plumber to lay out the first one that we did, okay, for proof of concept. His concern and my concern, the biggest concern we had was the ribbed RV sewer hose.
Yeah.
Will that create drag that will hold the solids back and the water departs and goes down the sewer, leaving the solids behind?
Right.
We were very pleasantly surprised. When the first day we installed the very first test, even with an RV solid toilet, you must fill the RV solid toilet 1/3 to halfway with each use.
Okay.
And we even recommend after the use, you give it a nice flush as a clean out, but it's really not necessary. We are amazed that the water and the solids make it all the way to the sewer point. And we use the clear fitting, so it was easy to see, clear elbow at the exit point of the RV and at the entry point to the sewer. And so it was important to us, okay? So this product is just now being made available to the public because of the 2 years of trials that we've done to prove that this will work and that it does work. We have multiple families with RV-style toilets and residential flushing toilets. And even with that trap, that snap trap, now we had prototype units, and we initially, before we had that, we just used zip ties to form a triangle because we know that's what people want to do, and you should do it. It eliminates any possibility of sewer gas infiltration and sewer fly infiltration. So you do want to do that. But we wanted to make sure that all of the waste exits through that trap, and it absolutely does. We have had no issues with that. The only time we've ever had to do any kind of plunging is with the residential toilet. It's just like the toilet in your home. If you have children and you put too much toilet paper in it, it's going to clog the trap in the toilet. So it's the only time we've ever had to plunge, and it hasn't been very often. But it is just like your home at that point.
As we know, not all campsite sewer inlets are in ideal spots. Sometimes they're slightly uphill or in weird places. So I asked Al about the importance of the sewer hose slope after the P-trap and how that would play into the bypass valve.
All that is required is a standard RV sewer hose and a standard RV sewer hose support. That said, there are those campsites that really should not exist, but they are out there. But guess what? Once we go to one of those sites, we never go back to that site because that should not be.
Right.
In that case, you have no choice. You have to use your black tank.
Right.
This will only work where you can use a standard sewer hose support. So if I'm going to a site and I see an elevated point and I have no other choice, I'm just going to use the black tank because I can. And then I have to walk it down. That's never a good condition.
Right.
And those campsites should not exist.
And that's the benefit, right, of the RV residential flush valve. It doesn't eliminate any capabilities of your current RV. You can still use the black tank. It only adds the bypass option if you choose to use it when it's appropriate. Now the electric motor is awesome. 12-volt powered and rotates the bypass valve with the flick of a switch. But should you lose 12-volt power to the motor, there's a manual override built in that would allow you to change the bypass by hand. And to avoid any confusion or poopsies, the switch plate and the manual valve itself easily and clearly indicate which direction the bypass valve is set to. The switch will either be in the black tank position or in the RV residential flush position, so that there should never be any confusion as to where the waste is headed. That being said, Al has a strong recommendation for anyone considering installing these products.
We insist that you put a gate valve at your connection point of your RV. In the event that you think you're in black tank mode, but you're not, and you're filling that pipe, you at least have a gate valve, and it's not going to be a problem. You're going to have to empty your black tank at some point anyway.
Right.
So as long as that gate valve is there, you connect like you always would, and open the gate valve and let the pipe discharge. For the manual version, you get this faceplate.
Mm-hmm.
You can reverse it 180 degrees, so however your valve ends up,
okay,
you're either going to be to bypass or to black.
Right.
So this tells you where you're at.
Right. Now, sometimes when we introduce a new piece of gear to a system, it can have second and third order effects on other parts of the system. And some folks raise concerns about the blade valves and cables of your current RV waste tanks having issues due to lack of use if someone is bypassing their black tank and leaving their gray tanks open with the RV snap trap installed. Here are Al's recommendations on that as we dive deeper into the concern of vacuums and venting within the RV plumbing system using the bypass valve.
We still flush the gray tank periodically every several months. I close the grays, I fill them, I flush them. So they are getting hit every quarter, as should your black tank. So if you're in nothing but RV residential flush mode, for venting purposes, especially in a retrofit application, you're venting through the black tank, so it's left open in a retrofit application. Manufacturers, in an OEM situation, they may choose to vent off of the bypass and tie it into the vent that's on the black tank. They may not. They may just use the black tank vent. Either way, it doesn't present any challenges or issues. But I still, even though I don't use my black tank when we're sitting stationary, if I am going to sit for a long period of time, and we will add this. This is good that this question came up. We'll add this to our instruction manual. It still will be recommended that you close that valve, fill it, and flush it at least every quarter, every 3 months.
Yeah.
And then this way you are exercising the valve and the cable and making sure that the tank has no buildup. Even though you're not using it, let's face it, there's still some residual.
Once they're used,
you're never going to get it out. Yeah, it's never clean, never perfectly clean.
Okay, and that was the next one about vacuums and venting. So you're saying with the way that you're recommending it be installed is going to allow the vent that's installed with the black tank to vent up through this pipe.
Yes.
Okay.
So you leave the black tank open. Now, if you leave your grays open, the black tank could be closed because if your grays are tied to the same exit point that your black tank is, you'll be able to use the venting from the grays.
Okay.
But myself, I don't like to keep. To me, I don't think it would be a good idea to keep it closed because if there's we know there's debris in there. What happens once you seal it in there?
Right.
Does it turn into something strange?
Yeah.
Where if I have it open, at least I think some air can hit it, dries it out. I would think that's a better condition. But those are the types of things that's additional empirical data that will evolve over time. The more people we have using it. And we're really looking forward to the input because we love about the RV community. Everybody experiences different things, even with our snap trap. The reason why we made that snap trap adjustable, we have the down position. If you want to install that snap trap at the exit point of the RV, we have the down position. We know people like to do things differently. We also have where you can snap the legs up. We had the option to snap the legs up in the reduced height condition so you can just pull your RV sewer hose support out either at the connection point to the sewer or at any point in line and snap it in that way if you don't like to be at the exit point of the RV.
Right.
So we're trying to give people options.
Yeah. Another hard part about creating products that are designed to improve the function of other products is that you don't have much control over those base products. I wondered if they had seen any performance differences when using the snap trap, depending on the brand, quality, or style of Flexibles RV sewer hoses.
So we purposely used the cheap hose that is rigid. So when you pull it and close it, it's a little more rigid.
Yep.
No issues with it.
Okay.
And we've used the Rhino Flex. We've used this style, which is kind of like a Rhino Flex. And we've had no issue with any of them, which is really surprising. But we were, again, very pleasantly surprised that is not the issue.
Right.
The only issue is when too much toilet paper is put in the toilet. And just like any household, you clog the toilet.
Right.
That's been really the only issue we've had.
Right. Now, as I said before, these two products are really cool, and I'm interested to see where the industry takes this approach. But the RV Snap Trap seems to be the easy entry point for easy RV solutions. Here are a few more details about that product specifically, starting out with what it's made out of.
So all of our products are made out of ABS plastic.
Okay.
And the advantage of ABS plastic is that it will not crack. You can bend it. If you use PVC, PVC can crack. It actually dries out over time, makes it more prone to crack. ABS does not.
Okay.
So it's a more impervious plastic material, and that is why we use it for all of our plumbing components, which RVIA to code, you have to have black ABS as far as the plumbing goes. But even for our trap, we could have went with a cheaper material, but the ABS, though it costs more money, we know that's going to last. It's more UV resistant to drying out.
Now, a residential toilet flushes the waste and refills the fresh water in the bowl to create a liquid barrier in the sewer pipes. Adding the P-trap to the flexible RV sewer hose could mean that the P-trap is filled with black water instead of fresh water. Let's take a listen to Al's thoughts after I asked, doesn't that mean that the wastewater is still in the trap on a regular basis?
It is,
Okay.
but there's fresh water pushing the wastewater, and we've never, we just never had any issue, never had any clogging in the trap.
And if that's something that were to concern someone, they could always just run the toilet
Flush it
long enough to flush out
There's
wastewater,
nothing wrong with ending with a follow-up flush for anybody that thinks, has the desire to say, hey, I want to make sure that thing's got fresh water laying in it. You can.
Right.
But from what we've seen, even with the trap, when you're flushing with 1/3 to half in an RV and with any standard residential toilet, the solids go right to the end of the run. And even if there were any residual left in a 3-inch diameter pipe, that's a big cross section to fill. So if you had some toilet paper or grosser laying in there, it's not going to be 3 inches diameter. Right. And the next time you flush, most of the time, let's face it, the toilet is being used for number one usage.
Right.
It's you're constantly flushing and rinsing the hose. Most of us full-timers with washing machines and bathtubs and children, I'm leaving my graze open. That's constantly running. Right. So it's just like a house. Okay. You have water, fresh water constantly rinsing through this line. Yeah. Much more so than the sewage water. Right. At the end of the day, you're doing dishes, you're running the washing machine. Yeah. But we've been it has exceeded our expectations. We actually expected that maybe there would be some maintenance, or maybe on an occasion we'd have to go out and address something and walk or flush it. We just never have had to do that.
And so I'm curious to know, we could definitely do some follow-up conversations with Al and Easy RV Solutions. What are your thoughts? Where and when do these products make sense for the typical RV owner? Would a bypass valve like this be a selling point on a new RV for you? At the time of releasing this video, both these products are just about to be available to the consumer. Make sure you check out the links in the video description to find the most up-to-date pricing and availability status. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm excited to read your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Until next time, I'm Joshua. You're watching RV Gear and Far. Happy trails.